Hello, hello, hello. I hope you can hear me. Um, I come on here today as I just get a little bit bothered with some things. Um, for one, there I am. I'm sorry, I'm new to this. Um, it's very heartbreaking of seeing the floods there in Texas, and it's sad that that things can be so misleading and stuff like that. No, it's not misleading. The flood did happen. That's not where I'm going. And there's lives that matter here, and everybody wants to seem to make it about political things. Of course, there's going to be a lot of finger pointing, and I just come on here just to share what is actually going on, as I'm sure that in the future there will be some kind of natural, you know, uh, well, not disaster. I don't want to wish that on anybody, but we know yeah, ice storms, hurricanes, tornadoes, and such and so, and we can thank the government for the cuts in those, and that's what makes it a little bit hard. It's bad enough that you're stressed out, but now we're not going to be able to even know like ahead of time. Um, like I heard a reporter on there ask about, could have been, assuming it was a reporter, ask about, why he didn't get updates. And, he was just last notified of that, the last time and all this stuff. Well, um, there's a reason behind that. I'm not saying it's a good reason or it's a legitimate reason, but just for future references, I thought, well, I'll come on here and share uh, possibly why. Not that that would prevent anything, but to keep the citizens uh, at least updated on the weather service and not be taken as much by surprise. Um, as my thumbnail said, as of this recording, there was notified of 50 being confirmed dead, and they are still searching for some more children, is what I'm understanding. Um, so prayers to family and everybody, just everybody impacted by this. This has to be horrible. So I just wanted to get on here and just share a few things. If you can bear with me, as this is my first rodeo here. But anyway, I am going to start off with FEMA. I know FEMA is not on everybody's mind right now, but it'll come a time when it's restored, to build, to move ahead and try to resolve or help fix up the community and stuff for the other tragic loss that people has suffered and stuff. Um, everybody has their own opinion of FEMA. I've not had to deal with them. Luckily, I've avoided a natural disaster. And you get mixed feelings, but everything's about saving money these days, and sadly, they always cut where it hurts, and they don't think ahead of time on who it affects. And I wanted to put this up here. Donald Trump has made several changes to the FEMA Emergency Management Agency since taking office, including significant cuts to the program aimed at preparing for mitigation natural. I can't say that word. I can't see it. Disasters. Let's see if I can get it any bigger on here. No, I can't. Okay. Guess I'm stuck with that. So that was one. So there was some cuts, and FEMA was involved. I don't know why Kristi Noem got on there, and I mean, I know it's supposed to start phasing out. Hopefully, this happened before it starts, and people could get at least that relief after all this stuff going on down there. And then it says that they right here that currently they are discussing proposals and potential changes to the FEMA. And it states there what it calls, which is, Florida gets it a lot with the hurricanes and stuff like that, but things happen anywhere. I mean, everywhere. I mean, tornadoes, flooding. I mean, just everywhere. So that's the second thing. And then I'm going to play a video of, share a video of some clips that I have found to some meteorologists and stuff like that as to what happened. Again, I'm not saying that is what happened, but in the future, at least instead of wondering why, and they don't sit there and tell you nothing and can't explain when they can explain, because they know exactly why you wasn't warned ahead of time, or you wasn't notified, or whatever, communication somewhere along the line, because we're pretty advanced in technology. They can usually tell spot on, for the most part, what's going to happen and stuff like that, and what to expect, and who's in danger of it, or where it's going to hit and stuff like that. So, I mean, could it possibly saved the camp from being flooded to get the girls out in time? I don't know. But I know we used to be big on, the scientists and stuff was working really big on trying to be pretty spot on. And it's sad that that's gotten taken away, because now everybody is in the dark about, in the middle of the night, it could hit and not even know the magnitude of anything, earthquake, hurricane, or anything. And it's kind of disturbing, as the results are, ends up in lives that didn't need to be lost during those times. So I'm going to play this little clipping here and share this video.
Phasing out the Federal Emergency Management Agency, also known as FEMA. Xavier Walton has more.
Well, it certainly is back to the drawing board, and a bit unsettling for state and local leaders after President Donald Trump saying he wants to scrap FEMA after the month of November. And by doing so, he essentially, what he wants to do is he wants to put recovery to disasters back on the states. Take a listen.
We want to wean off of FEMA, and we want to bring it down to the state level so the governors can handle it. That's why they're governors now. If they can't handle it, they shouldn't be governor.
The plan is to drain FEMA funding and shift emergency response to the states. You heard it there, by next year, even pushing them to.
So if they can't handle it, they don't need to be governor. I didn't know being a governor or a state representative had to be that qualified. Usually it's our first responders that that deals with stuff like this, and FEMA is one of them. They know how to, get in there and get the sandbags or whatever. Usually they're the ones on the front line, but somehow the governor, if he don't know, then he's to blame. So I don't understand that, but that's his opinion, and I have mine. So, and here is the other one I wanted to share, and this, I believe.
Donald Trump says he plans to dismantle FEMA after the 2025 hurricane season, shifting natural disaster recovery responsibilities to the states. Good evening, I'm Jennifer Lee.
And I'm Keith Kate. Thank you for joining us tonight. The president also saying the federal government will distribute less aid and it will come directly from his office. News Channel 8's Nicole Rogers joining us live in St. Petersburg with more on the president's plan tonight. And what Governor Ron DeSantis also thinks about this. Nicole.
Keith, Jen, tonight we're learning more about what phasing.
I get that this news lady is from Florida, but I know Texas gets hurricanes too. But this is just an idea.
Out FEMA could look like and what President Trump plans to do in the meantime. Governor Ron DeSantis has made his stance clear, saying if there is a lever that he can pull to help Floridians, he'll do it. President Donald Trump has made his intentions clear from the start of his second term.
We want to wean off of FEMA, and we want to bring it down to the state level.
The president says people can expect that transition after hurricane season. In the meantime,
we're going to give out less money. We're going to give it out directly. As an example, I just gave out $71 million to a certain state. They were looking to do about 120. They were very happy with the 71 million.
Cody McGee lives in Shore Acres. He, like many others in his St. Petersburg community, had his home flood this past hurricane season. He got money from FEMA to help rebuild. But with uncertainty surrounding how this transition back to the states would look, McGee worries he may be forced to foot the bill.
Then it's probably going to come in some form of tax. It always does, right? So I don't know if it'll be property taxes will go up or if homeowners insurance will just increase to offset that. But certainly it'll come back to us. Like there's no way it doesn't, right?
So what does Governor Ron DeSantis think about federal money coming directly to the states?
If you just calculated typical hurricane, how...
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't do Ron DeSantis. That's just that I don't do. But anyway, and it probably would go back to states. Anything for the money for the people, just to make it more stressful on the people. But here is what a meteorologist that is out of Florida. Again, he's from out of Florida, but he is a meteorologist, so it's affected him because meteorologist is all the same. That's just a job title. So I'm going to share that with you of his explanation, and it's his words, not mine, of what he has to say.
I'm accustomed to my presentations over my 34 years in South Florida newscasts. Confidently, I went on TV and I told you it's going to turn. You don't need to worry. It is going to turn. And I am here to tell you that I am not sure I can do that.
He's talking about a hurricane, which you'll see here in a minute. So that's what he's saying about a turn.
This year. Because of the gutting, the sledgehammer attack on science in general, and I could talk about that for a long, long time, and how that is affecting the U.S. Leadership in science over many years, and how we're losing that leadership, and this is a multi-generational impact on science in this country, all right? But specifically, let's talk about the federal government cuts to the National Weather Service and to NOAA. Did you know that Central and South Florida National Weather Service offices are currently basically 20 to 40% understaffed? From Tampa to Key West, including the Miami office, 20 to 40% understaffed. Now, this type of staffing shortage is having impacts across the nation because there's been a nearly 20% reduction in weather balloon launches that carry those radiosondes. And what we're starting to see is that the quality of the forecasts is becoming degraded.
Okay. So that's what he's basically talking about. The weather balloons is they take the balloons up in the sky, and it's actually the balloons that feeds down to the satellites, and they keep track of the atmosphere, and I could see the things of the weather reports and all that stuff. I'm not a weatherman. I can't go there. I can't explain it, but the next video will explain a little bit more about the weather balloons. And they have cut some out, like he was saying. And those are a big, significant help of knowing and being notified of accurate weather that's coming our way, or to be expected anyway. And so that we no longer have that. We are, they have been, as he said, they've been cut out. A lot of them has. So here is a video in regards to the weather balloons that's sent up.
We are at the National Weather Service office. We're going to be running through a weather balloon launch today.
There are roughly 100 National Weather Service offices scattered across North America and the Pacific Islands, and they're all roughly evenly spread out so that you get good coverage when you're trying to give forecasts for a specific area.
NOAA has become one of the latest agencies impacted by the mass firings in the Trump administration.
Many of these offices have been dealing with cuts or hiring freezes or even buyouts.
More than 800 employees have been fired, including those responsible for sending critical weather alerts.
One direct impact that we are seeing is losing some of these weather balloon launches.
We had to see. And you can thank the Doge from that, because that was part of the Doge cuts. That was the first part of the Doge cuts. So like they cut back for the airliners, the air traffic controllers. So that's what that related back to. So it started back then, and I guess they phased it out. As you can tell, they had it several places through the United States. So
he's launching the weather balloon simply due to current staffing and expecting staffing shortfalls within the next month. We are down almost 50% in our staffing of meteorologists.
All of these dots here represent a site that offers weather balloon launches twice a day, every single day. The yellow dots indicate a location that's gone down to just one launch per day instead of the usual two. The red dots indicate where they have gotten rid of the launches entirely.
Our particular weather balloon here is filled with hydrogen, which is then attached to an instrument called a radiosonde that measures temperature, humidity, pressure, as well as wind speed.
Let's see, I don't know when this video was made, but when they were showing the map, it looks, you know, the Dakotas and then New York, and that at that time has done away with them. And I didn't know they sent them up that often, which is, you know, that's good. But and then Texas has not gotten that far yet, it looks like, at this point, from what the snap shows here. Again, I don't know the timing of this, as I know the process is elimination, so I don't know how fast they're doing it. But there was weather balloons up there, and they should be able to tell the meteorologist what was coming. So.
Day instead of the usual two. The red dots indicate where they have gotten rid of the launches entirely.
Our particular weather balloon here is filled with hydrogen, which is then attached to an instrument called a radiosonde that measures temperature, humidity, pressure, as well as wind speed as it moves up in the atmosphere. One of their core functions is that the data that we take from them twice a day is used and ingested into weather models that produce the forecast that you, say, get on your phone or are utilized by your local or national TV meteorologist. They can also be used in the event of severe weather.
Sometimes on extremely windy or stormy days, it actually can take 2 or even 3 National Weather Service employees to launch the balloons. Oftentimes, when you have a tropical system that is nearing landfall or a severe outbreak that is expected, many of these offices will actually issue extra balloon launches, perhaps 1 or even 2 more per day. Now we're actually cutting back on the weather balloon launches rather than adding more in times that we really need to have the extras.
Our balloon has already found below freezing temperatures and it's moving off towards the northeast. There are several other ways that we can get that data. From aircraft soundings as they land, sometimes satellites can give us data, but it's really hard to get that good quality data and a full vertical profile of the atmosphere from other sources.
Strong to severe thunderstorms. As a meteorologist, I think the biggest concern going forward is how this is going to impact the day-to-day forecasts when these offices no longer have this information to provide for their forecasts. Maybe they aren't as accurate. Maybe they won't come out as quickly. We don't really know the scope of what those are going to be yet because we've never been through something like this before.
Okay, so there you have it. Just like she said, they had never been through that because they've pretty much gotten used to the weather balloons assisting them with pretty much some accurate and telling information so they can be able to know what's in store and to alert the people. This channel is about discussion groups. It's not about the weather service, but I just thought I'd just come on there and tell her, or, share with people. I'm sure you guys, and there's people that knows about it, but that they are trying to cut back, and I feel FEMA is an essential part of our country anyway. Regardless of, there's rumors that they didn't help this person enough and they didn't come there fast enough for the other person. And, I don't know how many they staff, but, some of those was misleading and propaganda, as people has all, just like North Carolina, when they got stuck with the Helena. It was the governor that actually got on there and had to say that FEMA had been a great help to them with the state and stuff. Sadly, yes, there was a lot of loss of life. And, but the governor was satisfied with the work. But again, you got those people out there that's, they have to make a bad thing out of a good cause. So hit the like button if this if this is helpful. And this is my first podcast, so yeah, it's not the best, but anyway, I just gathered up that information, and I just wanted to share that, and know that don't let them bullshit you as far as something being old and ancient. I wasn't able to, I thought I downloaded it, but I guess I didn't get it downloaded. There was an infrastructure bill signed by Biden, I think back in 22, and all the states got money. And that money is to go for infrastructure, the infrastructure bill. And it was to help build bridges, roads, and even outdated weather service equipment. I'm sure it would have covered that, if it was out of date. And I'm sure that I would hope that the governor would know that. But there was I think for the state of Texas was like $33 billion of funds. And of course, state decides where it goes. And I think they put a lot of it into transportation. And then, but yeah, they could use it on anything. But, anything need to be upgraded. It just had to be like construction-wise. Broadband was included in that. Just other things, just whatever you needed to do it for. I mean, they got funds for it. So, yeah, the system there shouldn't have been ancient. And if it was, that's something I would talk to your governor about. But I don't foresee that being a problem, so I don't know why that was. Well, I do probably know what's been told, but anyway, hopefully I'll end with this and quit blabbering. But I'll just hopefully there won't be no more counts, no more numbers to the death toll. It's already a lot, and that's that's way too much. Any loss of life is just too much, and I send prayers and thoughts to the families down there, and my heart goes out to each and every one of you that's had to deal with this. And from what I've seen on TV, it's been like, some people the first time it's happened. And I get that. I get that. Just like there's just things going on. You've lived your whole life doing this, and it just out of the blue, it's like, wow, you're hit with something that you never had to ever deal with. Never thought you dealt with. And you're just in shock at all. But again, hopefully you'll get the help from FEMA and help start a road to recovery, which, it's not going to bring back lives, sadly, but it hopefully will. So you won't be homeless or do without no more than you have to for the survivors down there. And our little angels are in a probably better place. Taken to us way too soon, obviously, but it's a sad thing. So I apologize, or I'm sorry that you guys are having to go through this. So again, your prayers, a lot of people got prayers out to you guys, and hopefully things will come together for your community. And thank you for taking the time and listening to my mumbo jumbo. But like I said, there was just some sources out there that I just didn't feel was right when they're telling you they don't know nothing. They do know. They have answers. I'm not saying they know. I can't say they can predict things, but they know how things work. And they don't, they knew what was in store for, as far as trying to predict or know or be alerted, there a better word for it, on something like this headed towards your community. As you see the science and all that, but again, they're cutting it. So we're going in with the blind eye, everybody. And that's scary. So, okay, enough babbling. I will get off of here. If you like the video, please hit the like. And hopefully if I come back on, it'll be a different discussion. It is going to be discussion and opinions, everybody's, this is a trouble, this is a bothersome time. I'm talking from aside from the flood of what if, or where it is, or what's going to happen, or where do we go from here and stuff like that. And it's just the fear in the people and the worrisome of, what's going on because of the economy and all this stuff. So that's mainly what I wanted to, or what this podcast is about. But I got enough nerve. I thought, well, this is my little trial run here. But anyway, hopefully when I come back, it'll be what my, the channel that I wanted to actually speak on. But, and this is about really politics here because everything's political, seems like. But again, just hit the like button and you don't have to share it, but I'd appreciate it just to hit the like if this helped you out in understanding maybe or gave you some idea. But don't let them bullshit you. Don't settle for anything less. You guys deserve answers. Because, again, like I said, this, you can't say it, it may never happen. But I heard from, I don't know what officer he was, that river is known for flooding all the time down there, that's the worst river there is for flooding. Well, if they know that, then I would think they would work on that to get that better from keeping from it doing that all the time. So be more preventive about it. Okay, well, have a blessed day. And I hope you have a little bit of closure, maybe. And I'm speechless. But we are praying for you, and you are in our thoughts and prayers. So with that, I will close and quit mumbling. And I will be watching. I will stay, I'll be watching from abroad on what happens down there in Texas with the floods and stuff, and how it turns out for you, and with the new cuts and stuff. But and this so-called help that's supposed to be coming, hopefully they will come through. But only time will tell on that. Okay, so I am out of here, and again, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.